UFC White House just announced on the Holloway Oliveira card. Depending on who you ask, this was underwhelming for some people. For me, I'm a bit split, I would say. For me, the one that really stands out is Alex Pereira going up to heavyweight to fight Cyril Gane for the interim heavyweight title. I mean, dude, what a fight, man. Like, it just such. I absolutely love this matchup. And again, there was a lot of speculation of whether John Jones would be this card or not. And if he was, it would probably be against Alex Pereira. If not, Alex would probably be on the card as well, probably against Cyril Gane. And it turned out to be Cyril Gane. What's going on with John Jones is a whole different thing, whole different weird thing with the UFC and Dana White. But man, I thought about it before it was announced, and I thought, if it really is Alex Pereira and Cyril Gane, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I think it's such a better matchup than Alex Pereira and John Jones. And like, hear me out really quick. I just think stylistically, Alex Pereira Cyril Gane is so much better because again, they're both kickboxers. Alex Pereira has and this fight will probably mostly be played on the feet. Cyril Gane will probably try to mix it up at some point, but I'm just saying majority of it. And Alex Pereira has a serious threat to knock him out if he's on the feet. He just does. Cyril Gane isn't necessarily known for his knockout power, but he's known for his how well he moves as a heavyweight. He'll be able to land punches and kicks and move around Alex and be able to be very elusive and use his footwork. And it's just extremely interesting in my opinion. I love this fight. Like for me, this fight is probably the best fight on the card. I mean, maybe the only other one, Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia, but we'll get to that in a second. But man, I love this matchup. And like I said, it's not that I think John Jones Alex Pereira isn't a good fight, because it is. It is a good fight. Not only it is a bigger fight than Alex Pereira and Cyril Gane, but it is a good fight as well. And intriguing, yes. But to me, this one is more intriguing, in my opinion. Just because I personally think John Jones would still, even at this age, would still cause a lot of problems for Alex Pereira. I do. I think John would be able to. I would favor John to win that fight personally. Still, I personally would. And that fight is so much bigger than Alex Pereira Shogun, 100%. And if it was on this card, it would 100% be the main event, because that fight is absolutely massive. Not only that, it's an intriguing matchup, yes, but to me, this one is more intriguing. I love this fight so much. And then you think about it, the winner fights Tom Aspinall. Like, man, what? Because, like, you think about the heavyweight division, there was absolutely nothing going on. And especially after Aspinall and Gane fought with the whole eye poke incident, and that's a whole other thing as well. It was really bad. But the heavyweight division needs this right now. The heavyweight division is in a very, very weird and kind of bad spot. And bro, just what a fight, man! Just what a fight. And I didn't want to just skip over the main event, Ilya Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. It's just, I feel like everyone kind of has this. Everyone thinks the same thing about this fight, and that's that Ilya Topuria just does absolutely whatever he wants to Justin Gaethje. And that's why in the first place, it's not surprising, because I thought this fight would be on this card, but I just didn't know if it would be a main event. And it is. And I think that's one thing a lot of people have a lot of criticism about, mostly Americans, obviously, is that in the main event, or pretty much throughout the whole card, they don't really have any American fighter on the card who can come away with this and get like an absolutely massive win, other than maybe Sean O'Malley. But because I just think Ilya is going to absolutely destroy Justin Gaethje, and I love Justin Gaethje. I'm just being honest. I just even against his last performance against Paddy, which is, by the way, absolutely unbelievable fight, one of the best fights of the year already. Um, but I just don't see Ilya will absolutely destroy him. Like there is nothing else I think about that fight. Ilya will absolutely destroy him, and like I said, I love Justin. There's nothing against him. I just it's a bad matchup in my opinion. And but Justin is the interim champion and had to make it happen. And it is a big moment for Justin. He gets to fight at the White House, yes, of course. But Sean O'Malley, Eamon Zahabi again. I don't have a problem with the matchup. I love the matchup. Absolutely love it. But I just when there's an opportunity to make Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen in a fight that I have been wanting for so long, and so many others have been wanting for so long, why not make it happen on the on this big of stage? Like I want that fight so bad, and I feel like they just kind of fumbled that, to be honest. And I wanted to make that happen. This is a good matchup. Like I like this fight. I do. US versus a little US versus Canada as well. I don't mind the fight. Like I like the fight, but it's just when you have that in the back of the mind, it's just kind of like. But Sean O'Malley being on this card is a pretty big thing. And again, like I said, it's a very good matchup. I lean Sean still. Um, Again, like I said, I lean Ilya as well. Early predictions, but I don't know who I'm swaying in Alex Pereira and Shogun, but we'll talk about prediction in a second. Early prediction in a second. Mauricio Hufi versus Michael Chandler. I'm a bit torn on this one, to be honest, because I do like Michael Chandler. I do, regardless of what people say about him. I do like Michael Chandler. Um, I don't think he does well against majority of the top guys in the lightweight division, but I do like Michael Chandler, and he does deserve this kind of opportunity to fight at the White House. I mean, he's been calling for it not only, but yeah, I just feel that he does deserve to fight on the White House card. But again, I just don't think this is a good matchup for the American. I don't. I think Hoofy doesn't beat him. He just like Hoofy doesn't go out there and beat him, knock him out in the first round or anything. Maybe he does. I mean, I don't think so. No one's ever done that to Michael Chandler. But if anyone would do it, it probably would be Mauricio Hoofy though. But either way, I think it's an intriguing fight for a lot of just the casual audience and the casual fans. But I personally don't really. I just think it's a bad matchup. Not only that, it's a bad matchup for the American on the White House card. I don't know. I just think it's a bit weird to make on this card. Like, I just think Hoofy will do whatever. I think he'll win. I just think he'll win. And it probably end by finish. I do. And I like Michael Chandler, man. I do. I just think it's a bad matchup for him. Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins. I mean, what an opportunity for Kyle Dawkins, by the way. And Bo Nickel gets a big opportunity. If he wins, he'll probably break out as like the next big American star. Um, Depending on how he wins, but I honestly don't even think this is a bad matchup. Like I think it's actually a pretty good matchup. Um, I mean, what a story for Kyle Dawkins, by the way. Getting cut by the UFC, coming back now on a 2-fight win streak, I believe, and not fighting Bo Nickel at the White House. Just a very incredible story. And I think it's a good matchup. I think I would lean Bo at the moment, but not a bad matchup. Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia. I mean, what an absolute banger! What an absolute banger! I'm a big fan of Diego Lopez. I am extremely big fan. I love Diego. Um, yeah, Diego coming off a loss to Alexander Volkanovski. Now fighting Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia has insane momentum coming off on a big winning streak. Finally gets a big opportunity. Fight Diego Lopez, who's fights someone in the top five, and his toughest fight to date. And a lot of people were going to be overlooking Steve Garcia, but I am not. This is going to be an extremely competitive fight. I'm telling you right now. Steve Garcia has a very weird and awkward style, and packs a punch. Diego Lopez does as well. I love this matchup. To me is probably the second best matchup on this card, other than Alex and Cyril Gane. But like I said, I love the matchup. Um, I would have to go for Diego. I love Diego, man. I do. I'm a big fan of Diego. But I'm not overlooking Steve Garcia at all. Steve Garcia is an absolute. I'm a big fan of Steve Garcia as well. I've been on that hype train for a long time, but yeah, man. I love the matchup, but there's another thing to be said. When people think of the big, what is supposed to be the biggest card of the year, the White House card, you're gonna have the biggest and best fights on the card. I think people were a bit, I mean, mostly Americans, a bit upset about how this card is. And I think a big part of it as well is that like the US doesn't really have that big representation. I mean, they do in a way, but like I said, the biggest win that the US can probably get in these matchups is Sean O'Malley beating Eamon Zahabi. Like I think that's a part of it, but also like I would have never thought Bo Nickel and Kyle Dawkins would be fighting at the White House card. Like maybe Bo Nickel, but not Kyle Dawkins. Like I would have never thought ever. I would have never thought that ever. Not even like a fight like yeah, like yes, maybe Michael Chandler's on the card, but not fighting in this dangerous of a fight. Yeah, it's extremely intriguing for sure. But again, I just think Hoofy would beat him. But we are getting like Ilya Tapuria and Alex Pereira are fighting on the same night. Like just like dude, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, ah man, I just don't know. I think it's underwhelming for a lot of people because they expect like the biggest card and the greatest card of the year, and this is like an incredible card. Don't get me wrong, but I think when people were thinking of the biggest and the best card, White House card, they don't really think of some of these matchups, and me neither. But it is what it is, man. I think it is. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that bad to be honest. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I don't know what big win an American can have on this card though is the issue. And I would just start from the bottom. Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia. Yeah, Steve Garcia could pull off a win against Diego Lopez. That would be a good win. He's an American fighter, good win. But Nico Dawkins are both American. Mauricio Hufi, Michael Chandler. I just don't think Michael Chandler is going to beat Mauricio Hufi. In my opinion, I just don't. I just don't think so. I don't. Would have if Michael Chandler pulls it off? Yes, that would be an absolute massive win. I just don't. I favor Mauricio Hufi a lot in that fight. Again, like I said, this is probably the biggest one. Sean O'Malley, Eamon Zahabi. Sean O'Malley beating Eamon Zahabi would probably be the biggest win for an American on this card. little U.S. Canada would probably be the biggest win. Alex Perez, Shogun, not American, obviously. Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje, yeah. If Justin Gaethje somehow pulls off a win against Ilia Topuria, yes, it would be a big win, but it isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It just isn't. And I think, like I said, I think that is the biggest issue that a lot of Americans have with this card is that there isn't really any big there's big American representation, but in the matchups that they're in, it doesn't really favor them that much, you know. And that's not what it's meant to be. I'm just saying, like, let's say if you were to have a John Jones Alex Pereira in this main event, it would be absolutely incredible. Like, what a main event to have. But the thought of Alex Pereira and the winner of Alex Pereira and Cyril being able to fight Tom Aspinall is even better. Like, but man, that to me that fight and Steve Garcia Dio Lopez is really the two fights that really stand out to me. I mean, Sean O'Malley Eamon's a hobby as well. Yes, 100%. But because that is a very good matchup. It is a very good fight. It is a very good fight. I just think if I had to redo this card, that's the one thing I would probably change. Sean O'Malley and Corey Sandhagen. It isn't a bad card though. It really isn't a bad card though. Um, but yeah, White House card announced June 14th. Uh, yeah, man, those are my thoughts. Cheers.